Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to QuickBooks Connect and our VIP developer session. My name's Lori Fraley, and for those of you who haven't met me yet, would love for you to say hi later, but I head up the developer relations team, which means I get to have fun with all of you. We've got a great agenda today for you to get you up to speed on what's going on with Intuit Developer. Avi will be coming up to share his vision. Then we got a bunch of product updates for you to make sure you know the latest and greatest about the platform. So Keaton will be sharing the overall platform updates, and Tony and Amit will be sharing API updates. And then I'm going to come back up and show you guys some of the awesome things we've launched in the last year. Then we're going to move into how you can grow your business and make the apps you've built with us even more successful. So Jen and Gretchen will share that information with you, and Raphael will come and talk about the global opportunity. Now, it's super important that you stay to the very end because we'll be giving out the details about our Devs After Dark party tonight. If you leave early, your drink tickets go to someone else. So we'd like to get started with a quick video showing you some of the highlights on our platform.
Having a small business is a 24/7 job. When I first opened my business, it was just me doing absolutely everything. And, people would say, "What do you do for a living?" And I'd say, "I'm a CFO and I'm a janitor and I'm everything in between." Technology was pretty much non-existent compared to where we are now. The way people are shopping today is very different. They're shopping on their phones to see what is brand new on Etsy or Instagram or whatever. And we have to adapt and be a part of that culture if you want to stay relevant.
Not only are expectations from the small business owner changing and that their customers are expecting more of them, the small business owner has substantially higher expectations for the software that they use. They expect to click a few buttons and seamlessly everything is just going to communicate with each other.
After talking to thousands of businesses, the consistent theme was that they needed to be able to have a tool that helped them tie together all their channels.
QuickBooks has transformed my business because the fact that it integrates with my point of sale system, Square, with my inventory, Stitch Labs, everything works so well together that I can stay ahead of my competitors.
I use apps every day. They're very important to automating the manual processes that I do, that my staff does, and that my clients do. Intuit has created this ecosystem for everybody to come to the table and find all of the various solutions that businesses are asking for.
A key example of the power and success of this ecosystem for small businesses is using QuickBooks to attach Stitch, attach Square, attach Shopify. It enables the small business owner to have a best-in-breed shopping cart, a best-in-breed point-of-sale application, a best-of-breed accounting solution, a best-of-breed inventory and order management solution, all under one roof in a way that's affordable to them.
Developers are key to this whole ecosystem because now you can just take a laptop and a browser and access so many apps that can help you automate so much of the work that you do in the same way that a big business does it with their proprietary software solutions.
I want technology to make my life easy enough that I can just take a breath and know that it's working so that I don't have to think about it.
Small business owners are looking for applications to help solve their problems. We have been fortunate enough to build an application that does that, and the market has responded in a way that we could have never expected.
What I would tell other developers is, if you have seen a need in the small business world and you can see that businesses will use that service, build the application.
So Avi's going to tell you a little bit more about our vision for growing the small business ecosystem. So please welcome to the stage Vice President of the Intuit Developer Group, Avi Golan.
Thank you, Lori. Hey, guys. Welcome. I'm really excited to be here. Second QuickBooks Connect event. It was exciting last year, and it's going to be exciting this year. And what you saw right now in the video, I'm going to talk about how we make it happen, how we make this experience for the customer and for the developer much more streamlined with our vision. So I'm going to spend some time with you on several elements of some market trends, some of our strategy and vision, and some of what we are going to invest. And I'm going actually to announce some new initiatives that we're coming up this week with our partners and developers. Many of you are already partners, if not all of you are already partners with us. And in the last year, I saw tremendous support of all of you in our journey for an open ecosystem. I'm going to cover some of that, and I'm going to share some of our thoughts about how we can even grow faster with you, and how can we support this ecosystem community of these amazing developers and partnerships that we created over the last couple of years. Okay, so let me start first with some studies that we actually are releasing this week, and I talked about in the past. 2 years ago, I joined Intuit, actually next week, 2 years ago, exactly. And 3 months after that, I was asked to come and talk at one of the conferences. And I was standing on the stage and talking to developers and talking about our online strategy. And lucky, there were not enough tomatoes in the room to throw on me, because a lot of people were challenging that, challenging the move to the cloud, challenging the fact that we are invested so much in desktop that the move to the cloud is actually take us a long time. We saw trends back then that we see trends back then that the businesses are moving more and more into the cloud. Businesses are becoming much more independent, need access to the information on the go. And with this slide show to you some of the research that we came up with that's showing that by 2020, we have about 80% of the businesses on the cloud. That's major. In small business world, that's a big significant steps towards becoming more independent and more open to the way that we are actually working with the technologies. Not only that, we see a big trend to actually start using more application. About 2 years ago, the average was about 1.2 application used by small businesses. And these are applications to run the business. That's not calendar applications or email application. I'm talking about real run the business applications that help you drive your business forward with the back-end applications that you already use. And we're seeing growth, or even the trend is showing a growth of almost about 8 applications as we go to 2020. So when we see this change into the cloud and change into using more apps, we need to think about it in in the way that we design a product, in the way that we design a platform, and how we work together as integrated solutions. One more data point that we have is that not only that you actually starting to move to the cloud and you started to use more apps, you're actually spending more time online. The back office, quote unquote, literally back office that you had to do work out back then, where you actually go to the back office and do some of your accounting, is changing. You're now working online because most of the applications give you the ability to get access to the data and see the trends of the business on the go. The main applications that we saw are being used in the organizations are things like bookkeeping and accounting, generating invoicing, or generating payments, and then eventually managing your customer data, right? From the other end, the online and the cloud is a big shift, but we also see a shift to the mobile. So more applications are built mobile-enabled, and the trends to move to mobile seem a little bit more significant, as almost half of the businesses today are running their business on the cloud. And these businesses, like I said, they do want to use apps. Not only that, they're actually not happy, but they're willing to pay the fees for using the right apps that runs their business. If we bring them the solution together that help them run the business, to their benefits, then it seems that they're willing to make this investment. And we'll talk about more in a few seconds. Okay, so we saw some of the trends, and we saw the shift to the online, to mobile, and to the fact that we're using more applications to run our business. What's the QuickBooks strategy should be? So when we look on our strategy, we thought about three main areas. Number one, we are an open platform. We need to enable developers, any type of developers, to build on our platform. It's a one code-based, built for scale, and for everyone to participate in this network effect on our customer. That's one end. The second part is we need to think about integrated solution. The fact that people needs to have the application to talk to each other. I don't think that there is a world anymore that application, you need to copy application from one application to another application to run the business. So we need to think carefully about integration and how everything works together. We need to make it seamless for the small business and accountants to run their business or run their practice. But eventually, we need to take one more step, which is personalization. And personalization is important. You want to provide a personalized experience. One-size-fits-all app is not good anymore, right? Because you have different type of businesses, and you have different geographies you want to go after, and you want to drive adoption of many small business to your application or to your solution. And the way to do that is enabling them to personalize the application or the experience that they can run the business the way they want. Some of you actually showed me how you verticalize your solution. You change it in a way to fit different geographies. And that's awesome. So we need to think about it as part of the ecosystem and the way that we build the application and create them and bring them together to provide this personalized experience. From my point of view, if it's not personalized, then we are not really doing what we need to do, to help the small businesses run their business and do what they know how to do, which is really sell the products or sell the services that they need. So take a year back, we had a lot of progress. Last year we announced so much of my progress to online, and we still see the trends are going up. We had almost over 700 small business subscribers on QuickBooks Online, and we're over 1 million today. We had only 300 apps connected to the platform last year. It wasn't only because a year back, before 2015, we had really less than 60. So over the last 2 years, we got almost 1,500 new applications active on our platform. There are users that using this platform, which means the demand for this type of capabilities are growing significantly. And we have a growth. We saw a growth in development, but then we think about the customers that are using them, and we see almost 160,000 of our customer base using at least one application on the platform. Think about for a second. Why are you actually integrating with QuickBooks? Why are you trying to provide an integrated experience with QuickBooks? I would say it's stickiness and getting more customers, right? So in some of our studies, we're seeing a growth of stickiness or retention between 10 to 30% if you use QuickBooks plus an app. We're keeping you more on our solution, our integrated solution. It works better if you work as a solution versus two separate applications. Not only that, we saw that our telesales team, it's easier for them to sell QuickBooks if they sell it with an app. Right, Matt? Exactly. And this is what we see also in other geographies, in other solutions. If you can't talk to the customer and say, what's your problem? And the problem is my business, and you offer them a solution that fits all what you need to do, that's an easier sell, right? That's why we're spending the time on the open platform. And that's why we saw the growth on number of customers that using solution on our platform. But I want to take you a little bit about how we think about driving customer solutions. maybe you raise your hand if you actually, when you develop your product, you think about customer benefits. Anyone? Great. We all think about our customers, right? Intuit as well. We're always saying that we customer back. We talk with a lot of customers. We do house calls, and we ask them what's the problem that they have. How many of you, though, measuring customer benefits are the KPIs, are the success metric of your business? Some of you. We didn't do that until now. We haven't measured that. If you go to our business reports, it shows our revenue, right? Our customer growth. Everything was about Intuit. It wasn't about the customers, so we weren't measured that success as we went and developed our product. So there's three main. So we started to think about customer benefit. We thought about three main elements. Number one, we want to reduce the manual transaction that the small business or an accountant do. We want them to focus on the elements of their business, grow their business or grow their practice. So we want to enable them to automate the transactions that come from different applications. And they can worry about their business and not about manual entry transaction. But when you get all the transaction in, you want to provide the insights. You want to show the small business, what are the trends of the business? Where is it going? What is the next decision that I need to make, to make my business grow, to grow my business? And that's the insight that you bring with your application. When you open it up, the platform, you have application like PayPal and Square to insert transaction automatically into the right places at the general ledger, and you have application like Fathom and Constant Contact that enable you to see the insight of the business. But then we took another step and we said, what is really, and some of you are small businesses, what is the main elements that drive your business? It's cash. You need cash to run your business. Small businesses need cash to run their business. So can we help them with that? And we thought about lending and financing. But we saw then more solutions coming to the market and talking about, and that providing this financing or getting cash capability, like Fundbox, that enabling customers to get cash faster and drive the business so they can live another week, another month, and drive more of their success. So that's core to our customer benefit. This is how we actually now going to ask, every time we interact with you and ask, is there a customer benefit? Is this something that we can impact our customer? Because channel is not important too much. Customer benefits is important. If we find a good integrated solution that drive this one of the benefits, then we can be successful with our customer. We can increase retention. We can increase access to our customer base. We can increase the generation of helping them grow their business, which means they will love us, and that's the goal. So then we built, Intuit invested in a group that's called Intuit Developer Group, and we are part of the small business group to drive the strategy of the business. We create in platform, we create in services, we create in tools. But what's our customer benefits? What's your customer? You are our customers. So we start to think, what is the developer benefits? What do you need from us? And how do we make sure that you'll be successful? And there's two things that we thought about. Number one, you want to grow your business. The one thing that you keep asking me, people that meet with me, can I get access to your customer? You have millions of them. Give me a few, right? So I want to give you access to the right customer base. And the way to do it is by accessing to new customers. We call it connections. You probably heard from us several times about the word connection, but that's really access to our leads, to the customer base. The second thing, we want to make sure that you're retaining the customers. You think about not losing the customers that you acquired. And that's where we're thinking about helping you grow your business. That's one element. The second element is delivering awesome solution to the market quickly, awesome experience. So the reason that we want to do that, because if it's not an awesome experience, so you cannot retain the customer. They will leave you, they will try it and move on, right? So the way to measure that is by creating tools and capabilities that once you go log into our developer portal and access our interaction with our development team, you can actually launch an application faster to market. But we want to check it out. We want to make sure that it's actually high quality. You have an accounting in mind. You know what you're doing because not many of you know accounting to the details. So we want to help you with that. And we take you through some reviews that will enable your application to work much better and provide a great solution for the customer. And we'll monitor our customers and we'll ask them to give us rating, to tell us how's the integrated solution. Make sure that it's successful. So we talk about the customer benefits, and we talk about the developer benefits, and we're trying to put them together and make sure that what we provide and what we bring to the market has the right experiences for the right users. Okay, so this is what we have done so far, and how we think about engaging with our open platform strategy and in our developer community. But what is the thing that we're going to invest next? So last year, I spoke about our vision, and our vision to have every small business application in the world connects to the QuickBooks platform. That's a huge vision. Put it there. It's easy to put it there. But now we need to execute against it. And there is two elements of that vision. Number one, you need to enable the technologies for partners and developers to connect to this platform and bring the value that they're creating to our customers to that platform. And then share the data between developers and application that they can leverage it correctly and feed the right perspective, bring the right insights to the customer. And the second element is bring the right app to the right customer. Right? We can give them an access to a big app store, but if we not target the right application for them, it will be hard for them to understand what is the next application to use, because there are so many of them. And many of the small businesses need some guidance, need some help. They will turn to their accountants or to their pro advisor for some help. So we are engaging a huge partnership that we have with the accountant community to help us with the personalization of these apps to the right apps to the right user. So investing in tools, we're investing in developer experience, and we're investing a lot on personalizing the App Store. I want to know everything about you when you come to the App Store. I want to make sure that I can feed you with the right application that you need to run the business. Not only that, if you worked with QuickBooks, the first thing that you log into QuickBooks asks you, do you have a bank account? Most of the answer will be yes. Right? So it doesn't ask you if you have a bank account. He said, connect to the bank account, because all of you will have a bank account to connect, right? But isn't it makes sense that you actually have an app that runs the business? So we're trying to figure out what is the app that you use to run the business, and connect you as you go through the first-time use of our application. So investing time in first-time use in QuickBooks, in product app store, and in the apps.com, which is our web store, to enable this type of personalization. Lastly, we want also to increase the investment that we're doing in this community of partners that working with us so amazingly over the past couple of years. So we're making a commitment, and we're actually announcing tomorrow a very, very important investment from Intuit, which is our new partner program. And in the new partner program, we're going to invest in creating, in enabling you to actually work better with us by having you access to funds, marketing, and technology team that will enable you to go faster to market, that enable you to go to market faster, grow your business, and get the right experiences that will drive more customers to you. So my team will actually go now to the stage and going to share a little bit more about this vision that I shared with you, and more details from a technology perspective, from a marketing and business perspective, and you can know exactly what to expect as we're rolling out this new partner program and the new technologies and capabilities. With that said, thank you so much. I really appreciate coming over here. And I want to call Ketan Kidor to the stage here. Ketan is driving our product management team, and he can share a lot of our technology and the changes that we have done over the year and what's about to come. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Avi. Good afternoon, everyone. What a year, huh? I mean, the from and to from last year, it's fantastic. I've been a year and a half. It's great to be part of this team. It's great to be here today. Thank you for the privilege. And what I'll share with you today is some product updates on our developer platform and also some of the upcoming plans that we have product-wise, and then we'll go deeper into it. So when I joined the team last year, one of the things we kept wondering about, as Avi said, is we are in the midst of a massive transition to the cloud. But what does that really mean? You heard a few stats, right? That the number of apps that small businesses use is increasing. A couple years back, 3 years back, it was 1.2. We are at around 3 today. We expect it to be around 8 in the next 5 to 6 years. But what does that really mean? So I want to take a click down and then share with you how we interpret that information into product plans, okay? So one thing that we find when we talk to small businesses is that small businesses are unique. They're unique from various aspects, right? They're unique in if they're in a certain business category, whether you're in a product business or in a project business or in a membership, a retail business, appointment business, they look at workflows very uniquely. But one thing is sure, they do use more and more now apps to solve unique workflow problems. If you remember Hope from the video before Avi joined, one of the things she said was, I use apps all the time. If you remember Brandon Levy from Stitch Labs, he said the same thing. One of the things that they see is the benefit they get by connecting to QuickBooks as well. So I'll give you an example of a product business, and these are generally the functional areas in a product business, right? You care about ordering products, you care about tracking your inventory, selling products, paying employees, paying your bills, and then keeping track of your business, drawing insights, right? And what we see here is, and this is more and more the norm, is we see specialized applications, such as yours, being used to solve unique vertical functions within the businesses. That's part of the thing. The other thing is that from a small business perspective, the small business now wants each and every of these apps to talk to each other. Give you an example. So let's say you see a surge in sales. You want to make sure that your orders and your inventory are updated, right? You also want to make sure then your reporting software is updated so you have the business insights to take the right business decisions then. What we have seen is because all these apps connect to the QuickBooks platform, that's Avi's vision that he just laid out, which is every single app connects to the business platform. Essentially we are solving 2 core problems here. One is that by doing so, we deliver on the core customer benefits that Avi talked about. Accounting is done, cash flow, and insights. But secondly, we are also ensuring that all the different apps that unique small businesses use, no matter which function or vertical they are in, they talk to each other seamlessly. And the small business owner doesn't need to worry about stitching that together. And if you remember from the video, that was a core pain point that we are solving. So our product vision here, and the way I interpret this, is to make sure that our developer platform allows you as developers the flexibility to create the unique workflow experiences, the integration patterns that you need to solve your customer problems to get access to this huge transition to the cloud, okay? So based on this premise, we start then sort of piecing down the developer benefits that Avi teed up, right? And this is going back to core fundamentals, right? I mean, if you look at it from a math equation perspective, grow your business and awesome experiences, they are a numerator and a denominator, right? A return on investment. Want to make sure that returns are maximum through grow your business, and we have product plans for that I'll share. and your investments can be as efficient or can lower even, so the final figure is as high as possible, right? So let's look at it from a customer back perspective, right? What we are seeing at least. So over the last couple years, we have seen a 5-fold increase in the number of apps on our store. We are today at over 300 apps on our store, massive, massive increase, and this number keeps increasing. So we are really providing our customers tremendous choice, if you really look at it. And this is actually very, very helpful for small businesses because, as I said earlier, they're very unique. But then this also creates a pretty interesting dilemma, you know. And here is a quote from one of our customers, Jack Foreman from SiriusXM. And what he's saying is, look, I have access to so many apps. How do I find the right app for me or the right apps for me? So, you know, this now goes to a core product priority for us. And our vision around this is to help small businesses find the right app for them in minutes. That's what we are working on, right? So what this means is, from a business perspective, we are essentially helping our customers come to our different app store, which is our web store or within the product or from any other access mechanism. And our vision is, as Avi just said, is make sure that we personalize that experience, right? So let's take an example of product-based business. They access through FTU. FTU from our side is first-time experience within QuickBooks. What we want to make sure is we identify that you are a product-based business, and through machine learning, we can personalize which apps are relevant for you so that you can quickly discover those apps and quickly connect those apps and get going with your business. You know, what's really interesting about this vision, and we are making strides here, I'll show you some of the things that we've done, is that by doing this, we are actually helping you as developers grow your business as well. Because what we are doing is we are actually leveling the playing field for all developers, and we are surfacing the best apps that have the highest conversion probability for certain small businesses, right? It improves discoverability, it increases conversion, it gives you access to leads, and it increases lifetime value of your customers. So personalization is a big theme. We have started working on a few experiences that we have already launched in our app store, on our web store, and we are working on even within product, within the QBO product, that is. And then we are also looking around at different access points within our product, outside our product, within a logged state, outside of logged state, so we can make sure that conversion, access to leads is as efficient as is possible. In addition to that, we are also improving some other product experiences that help SMBs search and find apps. One data point that we have, a very, very interesting data point, significant number of our customers, SMBs, show up in our app store with apps that they already use. What they're looking for is connecting it to QuickBooks. So what we have done as a priority within the product team is come up with experiences that identify very, very quickly with our customers what are the apps that they're using, and then help them connect it quickly with QuickBooks. So the entire flow around identification and connection and authorization is done seamlessly. And there's work to, we've launched a few things, we have work to do on the others. We also launched a lot of categories that help SMBs quickly categorize the functional area that they need help with, so they can find and connect apps. So these are some of the experiences that we have launched to help customers find the right for me apps, and from your perspective as developers, that will help you grow your business with qualified leads, okay? The other side of a product pillar is grow your business, is how you can, as developers, create experiences very, very quickly and create great experiences. And this is what we have heard from you, that you need access to a rich platform, rich APIs, so you can tackle the unique workflow needs, integration patterns, as I said earlier, that solve problems for your customers, right? You need access to SDKs. You need access to newer versions of the SDKs as we keep revamping our platform and our services. You need access to a sandbox so that before you go live, you can actually test with live data. QuickBooks is going live. We have a session today around that. Sorry, QuickBooks is going global, I should say. We have a, yeah. That's not a Freudian slip, so excuse me. And so you're saying QuickBooks is global. I want to go global too. How can I do that? One of the things about financial systems is that going global is not just about flipping a switch. Certain countries have certain compliance rules. Multi-currency is an example of that. There are some tax codes that you need to be aware of. So some of the back-end accounting situations are taken care of, and we expose that to APIs. So as soon as you integrate with it, your product is ready to go live, and you're accessing new customers, right? So that's something that we heard as well. We also heard from you that, hey, I need quick access to help, right? I need access to a thriving community. Can you guys help me with that? So these are all the things that we hear about. And we are constantly improving our developer experience to solve some of these core problems and deliver benefits to you. So over the last year, QBO APIs have gone global. We've launched global sandboxes in what we call priority markets, which is US, UK, Australia, Canada, India, and so on. What that means is you can have access to live data, essentially simulate local experience in that market, test your app, make sure it is bulletproof so that it doesn't fail in the market. Once you're comfortable with it, you can go live, right? So this is available today. We've also launched a variety of developer productivity tools, whether it's revamped documentation, sample code for certain very specific integration patterns, whether it has to do with payments or whether it has to do with the retail business or whatever, and these are increasing over time. So you can have that reference code and very quickly code with it versus trying to figure it out yourself. And then we keep updating our SDKs with latest updates to our platform so that you have the latest and greatest at your hands as well. And last but not least, help is just a click away. So we launched Developer Hub, and Laurie's team is extremely active supporting you guys so that if you have any issues, questions, we are there, and our website's up there as well. So you can file a ticket, and our engineers will be on it. All this work has really delivered fruits for us, over the last year. So if you look at it, we now have a situation where we are dealing with 340 million API calls a month. That is, over a period of 6 months, more than doubled, and over a period of a year, more than quadrupled. So what that means is a few things. It means that more and more SMBs are using third parties or apps to connect with QuickBooks to solve core problems. So it's not just about using QuickBooks. It's about what Avi just said earlier, which is QuickBooks with certain apps to solve their problems. We are seeing more and more of that. And that's creating a lot of API call volume, which is fantastic for us, right? We've also seen that the productivity tools that we have launched are getting good usage. So we've seen 30,000 sandboxes being issued over the last year since we launched the functionality at QuickBooks Connect last year. We've seen over 15,000 downloads of our SDKs, in addition to the API usage that we see. And thousands of developers are using our live community today, right? What this also means is we get excellent real-time feedback. These products are not perfect, right? Our goal is to put it out there, make sure you guys use it, make sure you guys give us the feedback so we can keep improving on it. So together we can be successful in this space. And that's the spirit in which we are developing the product as well. So over the last year, we have delivered a lot of product, right? So if you look at it, we've launched a global app store. In fact, we launched it last year at this time. We then mobilized that store, so you can access the app store on mobile. We launched personalization experiences, as I said earlier. So, very quickly through machine learning, we can marry the best app, right for me app with SMBs for higher conversion, so your business grows. We launched better search in categories. And then on the productivity side of things, we've done a lot of improvements as well. Our APIs keep improving, right, with lots of enhancements. And I'll have Tony and Amit come shortly here and talk about some of the very specific enhancements that we have done in accounting and in payments that we launched. We also launched developer tools, sandboxes, and there are lots of other things that we have done from a productivity perspective for you guys. Because of this, we have seen tremendous progress in our adoption of QuickBooks and the ecosystem as well. But wait, there's more. So this was all for last year, right? So going forward, there are big plans for us as well. So what we are going to be working on this year is I want to make sure that as the world moves to cloud, as the world moves to mobile, right? What are the three? We are in Silicon Valley, and there are the three catch phrases in social, mobile, and cloud, right? So if you have a mobile app, you can now list it on our app store. So we've made some enhancements so you can list your app, and we'll send you referral leads as well. We are now working on making app publishing even easier on our app store. But it's not just about in app publishing, it's not just about cutting down steps so you can very quickly push your app. What we worry about when you publish an app to the store is to make sure that we not just make the process simpler, which we will, and we keep improving on every day, but to make sure that we take the right information from you so that we can match you with the right prospects. So your app shines in the App Store. So your marketing content really, really draws and attracts the users, that the videos that we ask for are the right ones for you to get the conversion that you need. So that when you go global, you can have the right global content in there so that you can be successful in that. So we have tips and tricks for that, and at the same time, we are streamlining this process so we are successful together. We continue to get feedback on, and very good feedback on, some of the improvements that we need to do on documentation, and that's a big priority for us. We are looking into improving the information architecture so you as developers can very, very quickly find the API details that you need to solve the problems that you have. Webhooks, this has been a long-standing ask from you guys, and rightly so. And we are working on it feverishly, I might add, and we're looking forward to launching this as well, so that you don't need to continuously poll our APIs.
Like next week?
We can talk later. And last but not least, we are working on moving to Auth 2 as well. So the integrations can be done quickly, but at the same time, you can provide access to granular data that has been missing so far. So your apps can be even richer than they already have today, right? So in summary, had a great year last year. Really enjoyed being part of this team, part of this community. We have even more and better plans for next year. And to go into some details of the stuff that we launched on the APIs, I'll welcome on stage Tony Chang.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tony. I'm a product manager, and I've been working on the accounting APIs for the past year. So first of all, thank you, Caden, for outlining the developer experience improvements that we've made through our platform in the previous year. Now, let's get technical. Well, a little bit technical, not too technical. If I think about the developer platform, one of the core aspects is obviously the API, the quality and capability of these APIs, and obviously, are they even usable and easily understood by developers? So this past year, our platform teams have been working heavily on making improvements to our API, thinking about the way we release API changes to developers, and also reviewing developer feedback that we've been getting throughout the year. The changes that we've made can be categorized in roughly 3 categories. One is global. As QuickBooks Online pushes forward in various global regions, we want to make sure that our API is equipped to handle the different complexities of different global regions, and also make it easy for developers to expand their businesses into different countries. Secondly, new features and new enhancements. We spoke about customer benefits. One, accounting is done. Making sure that our API is equipped to handle the data that flows in from various different apps, and more importantly, ensuring that the data that flows in is correct from an accounting perspective, and also easy to use from a developer perspective. Another area of new enhancements is solving for product-based businesses and allowing product-based businesses to get insights that they need. Lastly, but not least, of course, is listening to developer feedback, which we've been getting since last year's QuickBooks Connect and all throughout this year as well, and implementing those in our API. So let's take a look at some of the highlights in our API changes that have happened since last year's QuickBooks Connect. Overall, there's been approximately 10 releases of our QuickBooks Online product. Each of those releases has been equipped with multiple API enhancements, fixes, and improvements to the way we show our documentation, do our release notes, and also changes in the SDK and our API Explorer. So we started off the year with releasing 2 new entities into our API, transfer and deposit. As I mentioned, one of the key areas we are focusing on is making sure that the data that flows in is correct from an accounting perspective and that it's automated for our end customer, meaning the data that flows in is easily reconciled with the accountant's or small businesses' data from their banking institutions. The transfer and deposit entities are crucial to achieving that customer benefit. We also listened to developer feedback and implemented some crucial enhancements in custom fields, and also exposing our PDF generation capability so that the PDFs of estimates, sales receipts, and invoices are not only available to QuickBooks Online users inside QuickBooks Online, but also available for developers to use in their apps as well. Another area that we've heard a lot of feedback on is payroll, and also specifically on how payroll works with these accounting APIs. We know we've had problems in this area in the past, and it wasn't easy to fix, but we brought together our platform teams from both our payroll side and our accounting side to solve this problem. Now, multi-currency. Caden touched upon this, and it really is a really big enhancement for our US-based customers. If you've been using QuickBooks Online globally, you would have noticed that multi-currency is just an inherent feature of QuickBooks Online. But until last few months, for US-based companies, they really only had access to US dollars. And as much as we'd like to think the world transacts in US dollars, it does not. Even for US companies, which may start off only using US dollars, as they grow bigger, they want to expand globally as well and sell to customers all over the world. And that necessitates solving for multi-currency in QuickBooks Online. What's special about this change is it wasn't necessarily a new change into the API. We had multi-currency support for our global companies. But as we rolled out multi-currency into US, we really took another look at how our APIs operated in terms of solving for multi-currency in QuickBooks companies. And we noticed that there was a gap. It wasn't really easy to use, even for our internal clients. So we released enhancements in this area to make sure that it's easy for developers to get updates to exchange rates and to work out the different types of currencies being used in different companies in QuickBooks Online. These same APIs were rolled out as the multi-currency features were rolled out to the US companies, and these APIs were used by our own mobile apps as well. If you want more details of every single change that I mentioned before, as well as more changes that we've made throughout this year, is available on our developer portal. Here's a short link that will take you to the changes and developer guides about multi-currency. Now, enhancements to items and the way we serve for product-based businesses. Product-based businesses has not always been at the forefront of QuickBooks Online. We've traditionally served for service-based business, but this year, especially in the past few months, we've made numerous enhancements, both in the product itself and also in the API, when it comes to things like solving for item SKUs, solving for the item hierarchy, and the ability to categorize items, and soon solving for bundles as well, the ability to bundle items in transactions. Again, with this release, we took a different approach to thinking about how we roll out the API changes. We looked at what the product teams were doing for QuickBooks Online and how they were solving for small businesses. And we thought about how we needed to solve for developers in terms of the API changes that were needed. This is not a straightforward change. We were really reimagining and rethinking the way products and services or items work in QuickBooks Online. So for this change, we actually decided we were going to design the API changes with the product teams, roll out the API changes to the sandbox first, and they are currently available in the sandbox right now, before we even consider rolling out these changes to production to our customers worldwide. This gives developers the chance to study on the changes that are being released in the sandbox, think about how their apps can take on these enhancements and leverage these upgrades, and then be ready to implement these as we roll out to customers in production across the world. So developer guides and the sandbox is currently available on our developer portal. You can follow these links for more information on the inventory item changes that we're making into QuickBooks Online. So what's next? I mentioned accounting is done is one of the crucial customer benefits that we're trying to solve for. But I understand that our accounting API is not necessarily easy to use for someone who's new to accounting. It does require accounting expertise. You need to know where these transactions go. You need to make sure that the transactions are not detrimental to your clients or your customers' books. So we're rethinking the way data flows in and out of QuickBooks Online. And we're thinking about how we can allow data to flow into QuickBooks Online in a way that does not require accounting expertise. And you'll hear more about this throughout the year. Again, we have more enhancements for our product-based businesses coming soon. So categories will be rolled out to customers in the coming months. And item bundles as well will be rolled out to our customers as we look to bring the capabilities of products and services in QuickBooks Online up to the level of what we offer for QuickBooks Desktop. And again, global. As we continue to push forward in various global regions, we're going to make sure that our API is equipped to help you launch your business, your applications in those countries as well. Again, these level up to helping you develop great, awesome experiences for our mutual customers, and also make sure that you can grow your business, not only in the US or a single country, but globally across the world. So I talked about the accounting APIs. We also have payments APIs that Amit's going to talk more in depth and give an overview of the changes and enhancements that we've made in this past year. So Amit. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Hi, everyone. My name is Amit Dhingra. I'm a product manager on a QuickBooks platform team. I'll be sharing some key updates on the QuickBooks Payments API we released last year. But before I do that, let's imagine a use case here. Let's say you're an app developer, you're building an app, and that you're solving for either accounting is done or improve my cash flow, the customer benefits that Avi talked about. And your app does maybe a couple of things. Take your small business customers' physical store online, to creating a storefront online, or helping create a customized workflow for their e-invoicing experience. So you create a great experience, and knowing that your customers are actually QuickBooks Online customers, you made it easier for them to connecting with accounting APIs. So every time you create an invoice in your app, it showed up automatically in QuickBooks. Accounting is done, right? So you want to make sure accounting is done there. Now, that's great. That's a great experience. Now, how do you now, you found out your customers are also QuickBooks merchants. So we took their, we underwritten those merchants, those customers signed up with us, and they're taking transactions, they're making payments through us. So knowing that, wouldn't it be great if all those transactions, all the payment that they received, somehow automatically showed up in QuickBooks, right? And what did that do? They don't have to spend time reconciling all those items. They don't have to reconcile invoices against the payment they received. They don't have to now spend time creating some entries that they may mess up their books, the biggest nightmare small businesses have when they use QuickBooks. They don't want to mess up their accounting pieces. So imagine if there was something that could enable that, the last awesome experience that we talked about, taking payments, auto-reconciling back in QuickBooks. Well, guess what? We did launch beta launched a was Payments API last year that just does that for your customers. Let's talk what we did last year. So last year, same time in QuickBooks Connect, we did a beta launch for QuickBooks Payments APIs that just enabled small business customers to accept payments. Your app would enable those customers to take payments online through your app. I'm happy to share we had a lot of traction over the year. A lot of key partners signed up with us, BigCommerce, Shopify, Revel, to name a few. And some of the developers, right from the day the hackathon started, this was the day we launched our API during the hackathon, there was a lot of traction. A lot of people walked into the floor, and we were like listening to all the feedback that came along. And having said that, it was all in beta mode. It wasn't a general available API, but a lot of feedback came along saying, well, this is great. It's a simple API. I love it. You allow me to take payments online from my customers via my app, but I would love to get some more. So we asked them, what exactly is more to you? And so they said, well, if you do go live with a GA on this API, help me store these payment credentials with you securely. I don't want to hold it. I don't want those customers to come back again, key in those credentials again. I don't want to do that. So help me store those credentials again with you, right? And then said, well, credit cards is a great way to accept money. Cost me a lot of money, but it's a great way. So can you help this is what I do today. As a small business merchant, I want to take a payment. My customers actually open an envelope, put a paper check in, mail it to me. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't get it, right? Can you help me accept ACH payments? Can you make sure my customers can pay me via their bank accounts? So just not knowing that these were the two key product needs that you had in this room and outside all the developers, we made sure that those two committed items were delivered this year. And as part of general availability, we enabled resources and endpoints for you to just do that. Let's quickly dive into a few of them. So if you're building an app and you're using this endpoint of and accepting checks, it lets you debit bank accounts of your small business customers. Okay? You can actually find out what the state machine looks like, how far is that payment. Credit cards and and ACH are a little different. You get to know right away from your credit card transactions, but you really don't know about your ACH payments. So you can find out when those payments failed or went through. You'll find out that you took payment. Now you may have to return the payment because something didn't deliver, or the service was you charged differently. You can issue refunds as well. Now, what does it mean to small business merchants, right? What does it mean? What is it costing them? Well, pretty simple, flat rate pricing of 50 cents a pop. Every time you make an ACH payment, it goes through, it's a 50 cents a pop. This was the number one item that was asked last year. Create remember me experiences. I don't want to store those credentials. I don't want to be part of PCI. Do me a favor, store it with you. Keep yourself compliant and keep me compliant as a small business. And make sure when I come next time, next month, next year, 6 months later, those credentials are stored and I can make a payment. So we create a wallet-like functionality by storing credit cards and bank accounts. So just going back to, first of all, I want to thank a lot of people who used our APIs during the hackathon last year and continue to use our APIs today. A lot of feedback that ensured that we didn't build something that you guys wouldn't build for your customers. So first of all, thank you to all of you, and feel free to talk to us offline after this session in the next 2 days. We'll be happy to take more feedback from you as how we're doing and how we can improve these APIs. With that, I'll bring Lori on the stage.
Thanks, Amit. So I have a few additional updates for you about some of the experiences we've created over the last year. So late spring, early summer, we released a brand new developer status dashboard. For those of you familiar with our old status dashboard, it wasn't the nicest user interface. It wasn't always up to date, which is not too useful for a status dashboard. And it was hard to get updates. So we relaunched this spring something based on Status.io. And so there's all sorts of ways you can subscribe to get information about what is going on with the QuickBooks API, the Payments API, apps.com, our developer portal to find out what's going on. You can be emailed if there's an issue. You can get text messages. You can subscribe to our Twitter feed. Lots of different ways to get information. And we report on both outages as well as planned maintenance activities. So you can be kept up to date about what is going on with the service and aware of when there might be something that could impact one of our joint customers. So please make sure you check out status.developer.intuit.com if you haven't already done so. Kaiten mentioned this earlier, but we launched the Developer Hub back in September. And this isn't just a new user interface on top of our old blog. We actually added a lot of great new capability that allows you to keep up to date with what we're doing. So it's just developer.intuit.com/hub. In addition to the blog, there's lots of training events, whether they're video trainings or articles, where you can get up to speed on accounting terminology using different APIs. There's some marketing style training in there as well. Events such as QuickBooks Connect or Sleater that we'll be at, as well as some of the smaller events that could be taking place all the way around the world. So you can look by different geographies to get information. You can meet the team. We've got bios of some of the team on there, and as well as links to all the different press and news releases as they come out. There is also a special Easter egg on the hub, and the first person to find the Easter egg and email me will get a special prize. So that's a challenge for all of you. Now, some additional important reminders that are geared a little bit more at the technical folks in the room before we move over to the business track. The first, that realm IDs, company information, are changing from integer to long. Now, this shouldn't be a problem for most of you because this field is typed as a string. And so the average developer, and you guys are not average, right? You're all way above average. The average developer definitely would not cast from a string to an int. The below average developer may have done so accidentally, and if you did that, you could be impacted by this change. So obviously this won't impact you because you're way above average. But if you have any questions about this, see me or someone on my team after the presentation. This change is rolling out later this month, the move from integer to long. So as long as you kept it as a string, you won't be impacted. The second is to remind you that the version 2 of the QuickBooks Online REST API is being sunset next June. We announced this last December. We've given you an 18-month warning. Most all of you are on V3. There's a couple of you, I think, that have a few V2 calls hidden in your code somewhere. We've been reaching out to you if that's the case and trying to help you identify where those spots are and make sure you're migrated over fully to the V3 API. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, we've got the links on here, and you can see my team. And last but not least, in terms of important announcements, is the sunset of the QuickBooks Desktop REST-based API, which is happening on March 1st of next year. So we're reminding everyone to either migrate to the QuickBooks XML SDK and the web connector to maintain a desktop integration, or try to migrate your customers to QuickBooks Online if you're choosing not to support desktop going forward. Again, we need to migrate your customers off to some other solution by March 1st of 2016. And again, a link with more information. So if you have any questions on any of that, please see me at the end of the presentation. So in case you're not aware, we are super active on social, so you can follow us in terms of what we're doing for developers on our Intuit Dev Twitter handle. Intuit Dev Status is tied to that status dashboard I mentioned. And then our Intuit Apps handle is where we talk about all of the great solutions you create to our small business and accountant joint customers. We're on Facebook, which is where we post how much fun we have since we are the Intuit Party platform. So there are lots of great pictures. If you didn't see the picture of our pyramid last night at the hackathon, we were practicing team building and platform building on a new dimension last night. We post all of our Google Hangouts on YouTube, so follow us along there, and then make sure you're subscribed to the blog. So this is the end of the technical portion of the presentation, and we're now going to move over into the business and marketing portion of the presentation. So at this point, I'd like to invite Jen and Gretchen up to the stage to take it from here.
All right, thanks, Lori. My name is Gretchen Sallier. I'm a director of partnerships with our small business group here at Intuit.
And I'm Jennifer Pataki, obviously the marketing person with all the swag on, right? I head up marketing for the Intuit developer group.
So Jen and I are going to take some time to talk through how do you grow your business with us as part of the QuickBooks ecosystem. And specifically, we're going to highlight some of the benefits that are already available to every one of you since you've taken the leap, you've published with us on apps.com, as well as some best practices in terms of growing your business that we've seen be successful among our developer partners. And finally, we're going to provide some more detail into what our new Intuit partner program looks like. So you guys are a really special group for us because you're in this with us, right? You've already made the decision to join our platform. You've invested a lot in building really great integrations and publishing on apps.com. But what happens now? How do you grow your business? The good news is you've taken the leap with the leading small business ecosystem today. So we serve 5 million small business owners. And when we say small, it's small. So our target customer base is really 1 to 20 employees. We also have over 200,000 accountants, making us the largest global accountant network today among small business SaaS players. And accountants are really important for us. One, they're an important customer, so we have solutions that we offer to accountants to help them more effectively run their practices. But they're also huge influencers for us. So accountants love QuickBooks, they use it, they recommend it to their clients, and more they're asking for third-party solutions that integrate with QuickBooks that they can also recommend to help make their clients' lives easier and also their lives easier as they get all of that data automatically inputted back into QuickBooks. And then arguably our most important customer segment is our 18,000 developers and partners, of which you all are really an elite group for us. So we wanted to kick off our session by highlighting one of our really successful partners today. They joined the platform in 2013, delivering a really unique solution to help small businesses with their short-term capital needs. So we're going to let you hear their experience in their own words.
My mother used to own a small business that helped larger companies to staff employees in relatively short notice. And she used to send invoices after the staffing was implemented and wait for a very long time to get paid. And that's exactly the problem that Funbox is solving today.
Funbox helps small businesses fix their cash flow gaps by advancing payments for unpaid invoices. So instead of a business having to wait 30, 60, 90 days for an invoice to get paid, they can use Funbox and get paid immediately.
At Funbox, we love the fact that we're helping small business owners do things that are impactful not just to their business, but to their lives. So Funbox launched with Intuit in October of 2013. It's a great opportunity for a small company like Funbox to work with a larger company like Intuit to help solve a problem that small business owners face.
There is a natural synergy that comes from working with Intuit. The integration was very, very easy for us. Only took a couple of weeks after interacting with their engineers, with their developer advocates. So what this API allows you to do is it allows you to build an app that interacts with QuickBooks. And that essentially is a data interaction, just seeing what's going on in business and then just feeding stuff back into QuickBooks, like insights, like actions. And it's all done in a very seamless, quick way.
Publishing on apps.com has been a really fantastic boost for our business. We get in front of a lot of QuickBooks Online users. They're able to see ratings and reviews from real customers. We just surpassed over 100 reviews from actual users of our product who are also QuickBooks Online users. And what we've seen just in the latter half of this year is 51% growth in our customer base numbers coming from QuickBooks Online.
If you want to develop a mobile app, you're not going to build out an iPhone. There are millions of iPhones out there, you're just going to develop the app. It's the same with QuickBooks. You have an ecosystem that's been built, focused on you, the developer, with a team that really has your interests in heart and wants you to be a part of that ecosystem. It's probably the best, simplest, most high-impact way to build apps for small businesses that exist today. Intuit is building an ecosystem around QuickBooks, which allows third-party developers to extend the functionality of QuickBooks. And having that ecosystem allows the small business owner to discover these apps, start using them, review them, and just have that integrated into their natural flow of how they operate their business.
We share a very common set of values and goals like Intuit, where we're focusing on small businesses, we're trying to deliver very positive user experience and provide independency. In every point in the partnership with Intuit, we move forward because it helps serve our customers better.
Yay. Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you, Funbox, very much. They're right over there for letting us share your special story with us on your success. And we're hoping that even after today's session, your time here at QuickBooks Connect, your partnership with us at Intuit is going to evolve into a story just like this one if it hasn't already done so. So to share with you a little bit on some tips and tricks to help optimize the success of your app, I'm going to take you through some things that we here at Intuit do that, that we use as best practices to get to know our customer. So how do you start? Well, first, a great partnership starts with an awesome customer experience. One of the things that we value here at Intuit is really making sure, as Avi mentioned earlier, that we deliver on the customer benefit. And the way that we figure out how to deliver on the customer benefit is really to get to know our customers. And one of the ways that we do that is we host what we call Follow Me Homes. Follow Me Homes are where we literally follow a small business to their office, to their home, to wherever they are that they run their business out of, and we literally watch them work. And as we watch them work, we begin to understand where they're experiencing their pain points so that we can then begin to think through what products and services do we need to deliver to them in order to help them better run their businesses. Once we've done that, we apply a lean startup methodology, which is we then build a prototype that we try to get out in front of customers very, very quickly so that we can begin to test and learn and iterate on that product so that we know when we launch that product that we're delivering on the customer benefit that we've seen from our small businesses. So what does that mean to you guys, the developers here in the audience? Well, one of the takeaways is you can certainly apply these best practices, and I definitely encourage you to do so. Listening to Hope earlier talk from Marmalade and understanding just what it is that she's thinking about when she uses apps to run her business. But I'll also fill you in on a little secret for a shortcut, which is partnering with us will help you get access to the research and data that we already have because we've done so many of these Follow Me Homes and we've spent so much time with the research and data that we would love to be able to share with you so that we can align our interests and make sure that the apps you're building for our platform are delivering on that customer benefit. So hopefully, as Gretchen mentioned, you guys all have apps published on apps.com and are all taking advantage of the marketing opportunities that being a part of this robust marketplace are already bringing to you. Having your app on apps.com is already giving you visibility to 600,000 visitors to our site on a monthly basis. You're also getting visibility in product on the QBO Apps tab where we see over 100,000 visitors as well. And also through all the ecosystem marketing that we already do with our banners, with our featured carousels, and all of the other marketing from newsletters and blogs and things like that. But one of the things that we're really going to focus on today are what are some of the other things that you could be thinking about to open up other marketing channels in order to get more customers for your app. So today we're going to spend a little bit of time on 4 key areas. We'll talk a little bit about why reviews matter. We'll also talk about how to make sure that you are optimizing that your app is searchable and discoverable by small businesses. We'll also talk a little bit about other front doors and channels that you can use to market your app besides apps.com. And lastly, how important it is to have key influencers recommending your app. All right, reviews. So, show of hands, how many people look at reviews when you guys are making a purchase decision? All right, yeah. Not surprising. So, well, guess what? Small businesses are doing the same thing. We find, and Bazaar Voice data has shown us, that 71% of US consumers say ratings are important when they're about to make a purchase decision. One partner who recently published their app on apps.com, Expensify, who I believe is here right now, there they are, back over there, recently launched a marketing campaign where they went out to their user base and asked them to make a review, or to give them a review on their app. They saw their reviews multiply. I think they went from 24 reviews to 260 reviews. Now, why do you guys think that's important? Well, that's kept them on the top rated carousel on the apps.com homepage, which is where they're getting all of that visibility. And from what I understand, they're still tracking the data of how much conversion they've seen, but I believe that the results are encouraging, and hopefully we'll be able to share some more data of why reviews are so important. Secondly, make sure your app is discoverable. One of the things that we at Intuit, and especially specifically in IDG, are committed to is ensuring that both apps.com and the QBO Apps tab are powered by Google Search. The other thing that we do is making sure that all relevant details on your app card are captured within those search details, and we tag everything. So that's what we're committed to doing, but one of the things that we make sure we want you to do is make sure you guys have the right keywords on your app card, the ones that a small business would look up if they were looking to solve for a specific pain point. If you're a time tracking app, make sure you've got time tracking on your app card so that when a small business enters in time tracking, that's the first thing that's going to bubble up. The second thing that I feel really important is use the power of the Intuit brand. Make sure that when you're creating keywords, you attach some of those keywords to the Intuit brand, which will hopefully, based on all of the work we're doing on our side, bubble you up a lot higher when people are looking for your app. And as I mentioned before, new ways of finding customers. There are other opportunities for new front doors. There are co-branded landing pages. You can really be thinking through, well, what does social outreach look like for me? What does it mean to retarget on Facebook? How do I run a Twitter campaign? Those are things that I think are very important that you need to be educating yourself on, because it's really going to open the door to more users. And attend events like this. One of the things that we have found is getting access to small businesses, getting access to accountants, getting out there and letting them know that that you have an app available to help solve their problems is very key. And lastly, don't forget the accountants. This is a huge influencer channel where we've seen conversion rates double when an accountant recommends an app. So when you're manning your booth today and tomorrow, make sure you connect with those accountants. And actually, Gretchen and I are going to go over some tips and tricks at the end of this session and give you some more ideas on how you can network with those accountants as well.
Great. So yeah, you've heard about different benefits that are available to you today. So if you're not taking advantage of those, make sure that you talk to Jen and her team after this to figure out how you can do that. What we want to walk through now is a little bit more detail about our new Intuit Partner Program. So a lot of you in this room participated with us in our Key Partner Beta Program that we launched in January. We had a lot of learnings coming out of that program, really figuring out which marketing levers worked for our developer community, and all of those learnings have gone into how we've structured this new partner program going forward. The purpose of the program is really twofold. The first is we needed a way to programatize our engagement with our developer ecosystem. We want to make sure you guys are clear on what you can expect from us with regards to supporting your app and helping you market that app. We also want to be clear about what we expect from you as well as part of our partner community. And the second piece is we know that all of you, when you choose to join our ecosystem, are making an investment of your resources in that ecosystem. And so we wanted to make sure we had a way to invest back in your business, especially against the solutions that are really solving some of our customer needs and providing that benefit to our customers. So without further ado, you can see we're rolling out a 4-level partner program. And before I go into this, let me just reiterate what Jen said. Everyone who publishes on apps.com will have access to our customers and to all of the marketing benefits that Jen mentioned. But for those solutions that start to really gain traction within our ecosystem and reach 50 connections, and as a reminder, when we say connection, this is a QuickBooks Online user who is using your app integrated to QuickBooks. So once you've reached 50 connections, we want to formally graduate you into our partner program and start to jointly invest in your business with you. So across all 4 levels, you'll see you're going to get increased product and technical support. So we want to make sure that your solution is the best it can be for our joint customers and want to support you in doing that. You'll also get preferential access to our almost 1.2 million QuickBooks Online customers through our marketing channels. And finally, something that's new is you will have access to a partner portal, which is a one-stop shop for you and all the resources you need to build a successful application and market that application within our channels as well as your own channels. And then, as Kate mentioned, coming soon, we'll also grant you access to some tools to help you better track the performance of our partnership and get more visibility into your metrics. For partners who really start to see a lot of traction and reach 1,000 connections within our ecosystem, you will move up to the select level. And at the select level, we then give you more preferential access to our marketing channels. For example, you'll be featured on a regular basis within our apps.com carousel, which has been a really effective marketing channel for our partners. And then you'll also have the opportunity for Intuit to double your marketing investment up to $20,000. So this is really exciting because not only do you now optimize your marketing investment, but you're also working closely with us on the marketing plan and how we use those dollars to make sure that we are most effectively targeting the right customers for your solution. At the Premier level, these partners have a relatively established customer base in a target vertical. And they've also shown traction with their solution in our App Store, reaching over 3,000 connections. At the Premier level, you get all the same benefits as Community and Select, additional preferred placement within some of our social channels and blogs, also opportunities for some joint press releases with Intuit. And then the co-marketing investment, again, Intuit will double your marketing investment up to $40,000 and work closely with you on that joint marketing plan. What's really exciting at the Premier and the Elite levels is the access to our in-product marketing. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what that means, we actually will market your solution contextually within the QuickBooks Online experience. This has been a channel that's only been available to our own proprietary solutions for a long time. We've just recently opened this up to a few third parties, and we've seen tremendous traction. It's a really integrated way for us to reach our customers, and we want to make sure when your solution is really solving a customer benefit that we're highlighting it in the appropriate points within the product experience. At the Elite level, so these are partners who have a sizable addressable base of small business customers, and we really look at these partners as opportunity for joint new user growth. So both net new user growth opportunities for us and the partner, as well as the opportunity to cross-sell each other's products within our base. And so these partners will be some of the largest in our ecosystem. So I went through that really quickly, but the good news is we have a website that is live that you can visit to find out more information about our partner program. It is developer.intuit.com/partner program. You can also feel free to find myself or anyone on my team either today or at the event just to talk in more detail about some of the benefits that we're rolling out for our partners. Overall, we're really excited about the way that we believe we can help you all grow your business and be successful and acquire new customers that are right for your solution within our ecosystem and continue to build a really vibrant platform.
Great. Thanks, Gretchen. That was awesome. All right, so we went through a lot of information very, very quickly. One of the things that I hope you guys got out of this was that you are critical and a big part of our large and growing ecosystem. And without you, a lot of this really wouldn't be possible. Remember, customer benefit is the key, and that's really what we're trying to do here and really make sure that we're helping all small businesses thrive. We're here to help you promote your solution, and we're here not only at QuickBooks Connect, but beyond that as well. But certainly take advantage of myself and my marketing team who's here, happy to find the time to sit down with you and answer any questions or do a deeper dive on any of the opportunities that we talked about. And know that we really, truly are investing in making sure that your app is successful. So now I think you're going to go over some tips for accountants.
So you guys are spending the next day with accountants. And I know some of you have already tapped into the accountant network, and so you're experts. But for those who aren't, we wanted to just give some tips for talking to accountants because they could be a huge influencer for your business. So the first thing to keep in mind is accountants is kind of a one-at-a-time game. So you need to get to know who the accountants are within your target vertical. You need to spend time with them. You need to show them your solution. Free subscriptions for accountants is highly recommended so they can have an opportunity to use your solution and love your solution. And then you want to make sure you're getting feedback from accountants. Because remember, each accountant is representing potentially hundreds of potential customers for your business. So the more that they know and use your solution and love it, the more they're going to be recommending it to their clients as well. The other thing to keep in mind when you're asking for feedback is what additional tools and features can you put into your app that improve the accountant's life? So whether it's additional collaboration tools or different opportunities to aggregate data more seamlessly, that's the type of feedback that can be really valuable and help you expand your reach within the accountant community. So the thing to keep in mind is this is a process, right? It's a great first step. All of you have decided to come here and exhibit at QuickBooks Connect and get front row seats to this accountant community. And they're here and they're excited to learn about what other applications are out there that are working with QuickBooks. So make sure you take the time, learn from them, educate them on your solution, and then get their contact information so you can make sure you stay in touch with them after the conference, follow up with them on new product releases, continue to get their feedback. And it's an investment for sure of your time, but it does pay itself back in dividends. So we highly recommend you guys take the time to do that. So with that, I'd like to welcome up Rafael de la Vega. He is going to talk to you a little bit more about our global opportunity.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I've been here a couple of months, close to 6 months now. And I think the number one question I've received from most of you and other partners that are not here is, how do I go global? And that comes no matter if you are in Australia or the UK, India or other country, and you want to come to the US, or you're in the US and you want to go and explore what kind of business you can do with us outside. So I'm going to share a little bit of what does it take to go global. Although if you were tracking the presentation, we probably mentioned the word global like 500 times already, so I hope that is making my life easier. But I'm going to share a little bit of data about how our ecosystem is growing on a global basis, highlight some of the opportunities, and also talk to you a little bit about some of the best practices that we have. We also dumped a lot of information to you right now about marketing, about product, and about everything that we're doing. So I also have a slide that kind of summarizes everything that is applicable to global so that you can take that in a single page as a summary of the sessions today. So let's start with something. Everybody in this room is here because you probably know this, but I'm going to highlight the data. If you look at the global apps market, if you only size the business apps, it's growing much faster than the consumer application. Not only that, but it's scheduled to, or is expected to double in size by 2016 compared to where it was 2013. So you're in the good place. Developing apps for business is a much better business than doing it for the consumer space. If you do a click down on that, you'll see that also the developers that are developing for the business market make more money than those in the consumer market. So if you're still thinking about going down the consumer route, think twice. More than 68% of the developers on the app market for business get incomes over $500 a month compared to 52% in the consumer market. But the most interesting stat is the following, which is around 16% of them make more than $500,000 every month. So lots of opportunities if you know how to take your global app on the business market. This connects also to the opportunity, 600 million small businesses in the world that are actually looking for apps. If you go back to some of the stats that Abby had at the beginning, it's like we went from 3.1 to 8 point something number of apps that small businesses are doing to run their business outside the regular, so lots of opportunities. And to wrap all of this, most of these small businesses are buying directly on the app stores. So the ecosystem play and app store is a key component of this growth. As you know, and we've mentioned this already through the presentation, QuickBooks is a global platform. We are present around the world, but we have 7 priority markets. What does that mean? That means that if you're a user in any other market, you can have the basics about what our platform and our ecosystem has. But if you are in these 7 markets, we are really developing specific product needs to meet the compliance needs, to meet the requirements of the small business, and we're enhancing the ecosystem around those markets. If you look at some of the numbers, those 7 markets, the 6 markets that are outside the US add another 43 million prospects in terms of small business. So if you say 29 million, that's the number of small business in the US, and around 43 with those other 6 countries. So the opportunity is huge. So a little bit of how our platform is growing on a global basis. These are the latest numbers from the beginning of June. We reached the milestone. June 2nd is when we signed up the 1 millionth customer on the QuickBooks Online platform. Some interesting facts. It took QuickBooks 7.5 years to get to the first 100,000 customers on our online version. It only took 3 months to get to the last 100,000. So the growth, as you can tell from the graph, is really accelerating and accelerating fast. What's interesting about this is the last bullet, is as of today, 18% of the new users are coming from non-US markets. And as you'll see in the next slide, that is accelerating even faster than the markets in the US. So that means the ecosystem is growing really well, really healthy, and it's bringing customers from all over the world. So if I do a click down on what does the growth outside the US looks like. First, we launch in many of these markets after the key competitors. So in many markets like the UK and Australia, we've only been there for 1.5 years or 2. But the good news is, if you look at our growth in all of these markets, we've had more than twice the growth in the last year. So 135% growth in these markets. We're growing faster than everybody else outside the US. Why are we doing this, and what do we think is happening to drive this growth? First of all, we've done, I think, a good job of bringing you guys in the journey. So we have a good combination of the platform and the ecosystem tools, but we've been building around global brands and recognized brands that help create the ecosystem that they attract. They are like the anchor stores on the ecosystem, together with very recognized local brands that are known to that specific market. So global brands, local brands put together and building a healthy developer community around that. I think we've been doing that very well. Fact of that is we today have 4 times more apps. I think Keaton was sharing this before on our app store that we did a year ago. So you see some of the big names that we have, and it's continuing to grow. Another key piece of data, and this just happened this week, if you look at our mix of apps, this is the first week that we published the same amount of apps in the US as we did outside the US. So we're like on a 50-50 publishing ratio on the App Store. So that's all great news about the ecosystem and the opportunities. So what does this mean for you, and how are we doing this? This is kind of the summary slide. So first of all, going back to that question, how do we grow global, and how can we do a better job of making you get to those global markets? A couple of the things we did, we now consolidated the global partnerships team. So we have a single partnership team which has oversight of how we can help you, and we have local people in most of these key markets. So whether you are in Australia or the UK, Canada, the US, you have somebody that can help you navigate how we can be successful with you. We've talked about the global app store and how that is driving business. You heard some of the enhancements that we're doing on that store and all the opportunities you have with that. I'm very excited about the new partner program that we just, that Gretchen and Jen just walked us through. That's available to global partners as well. That was one of the things we didn't have before. It was really difficult for global partners to be to partner with us on a global basis. Now this makes it easy for everybody to be part of that partnership program. The ability to customize the apps for markets, and the ability to have multi-currency, as well as the global sandbox. How you can test your app, how does it work, will it be well received in the different markets? So this is kind of the summary of the key things that we have launched in the last year to help you go global. But this is kind of the slide where I wanted to talk a little bit about that question, about how do we go global. So 3 things that some of the successful partners are doing. Number 1 is what I call think local. So everybody wants to be global, but you need to consider the local element of that. Going global is not only about, now I have my app in Queen's English versus American English, or now I have it, we're launching France and Brazil, as you know, in the next 6 months. It's not about now can I do French and Portuguese. It's about really how you service those clients. What's your service strategy? What's your acquisition strategy? How are you complying with the local regulations and things that you will need to be successful? There's many apps that just go out and publish in all the markets, but as soon as clients start calling from different markets and there's no customer service, the currency is not the correct one, they don't get the traction and it doesn't work out. The second one, and this, I don't know, this applies to the group here, it probably applies to many other apps, but is the problem that you are solving in your home market a relevant problem in other markets? And that just to say that the different global markets change. So what might be very helpful for a small business in a developed market like the US or the UK might not be applicable in Brazil, for example, or vice versa. What you're solving for in Australia might not work in the US. So just make sure that you do the research and make sure that the problem that you are solving is still relevant. The last one, and we've beaten this already all day, but take advantage of the ecosystem. We've invested a lot on the App Store. We've invested a lot on tools to make you successful. So use that, publish on the store, and that's where the clients are going to connect. Summary for you guys to take away. The ecosystem is growing faster in the US. So yes, I would love to have all of you come to the US, but we also want all of you to be able to grow with us outside the US. I'm willing to have those conversations and say, hey, how can we expand into the US? But let's also talk about how can we expand together in France? How can we expand together in Brazil? How can we grow in Canada? Those markets are growing really fast, and we're very interested in building more business out of those markets. The investment level, I mean, you saw all the presentation today. It was about how do we make tools for developers, tools for the App Store, tools for partnerships that make you be successful in the global market. So the amount of time, energy, money being invested in global is higher than it has ever been. And last is going back to the partnerships team. If you have any questions, if you don't know how to access, I've had conversations with a couple of you today about how complex it was to work with Intuit before and who to talk to and how to figure that out. Now you have a single point of contact in each market. That's the global partnership team. We can help you navigate the complexity, talk to us, ask any questions, and we will be able to help you be successful as would you go on the global market. So with that in mind, I think my last order of business for today is to call Lori back to the stage. And she's going to share kind of how can you get access to the super secret after drinks party, or how are we calling that?
Thanks, Rafael. So before we go to the very, very important details, I want to just invite you to talk to us after the session is over. In addition to all the speakers that were up here on stage, there's a variety of people from the Intuit developer group here in the room happy to answer your questions, whether they're from partnerships, marketing, product management, or the development team themselves. Lots of people are here to talk with you and answer your questions. So please seek us out and ask whatever's burning. Second is there's a couple of very eager people in the room who respond well to challenges. So I'd like to congratulate Stephen and I think Alex on winning the Find the Easter Egg competition. Please see me afterwards and we'll work on prizes. Thank you. So we're now at the important part of the evening. As the sun goes down later tonight, we transition into the Intuit Party platform with our special Devs After Dark party. So what's happening later tonight? We'll be going over to the Silicon Valley Capital Club, which is just a few blocks away. I don't know if it's still raining outside. We're having this kind of odd phenomenon in California, and there are drops of water coming down from the sky. I don't think we melt. Guess we'll find out on our way to the party. But we're going to be having bourbon and bacon pairings, as well as bubbles from around the world and items to pair with that as well. So when you leave here tonight, you need to pick up one of these super cool tickets that says Admit One. This will get you into the party later tonight. The other thing you should pick up as you leave the room is a raffle ticket. We will be raffling off an Apple Watch to one lucky participant from today's session. And if you didn't grab it earlier, please pick up a t-shirt. I think that's it on announcements. We're so glad that you were able to join us today and spend a few hours with us. I know this is a super busy conference and that you have a lot going on with needing to network with all the accountants and small businesses. So thank you for taking a few hours out of your day to spend time with us, and enjoy.